So life is depressing, wouldn't you say, Mitch?
Oh, I'd say so.
You think life is sad now. It was pretty sad before the turn of the century because back then we were dealing with the whole Y2K scare. Then the next year we had Dude, Where's My Car? And then the biggest tragedy in 2001, Maroon 5 became an actual band. We're still trying to get over that. So to add to all that misery, most of us had to cope with a breakup or two. Remember those days, sobbing in your room on a gloomy, cloudy day, tears streaming down your face, same with the aimless raindrops are streaming down your window. And as you start to coat your eyes with black eyeliner and like you put black nail polish on, get ready to get in that fetal position to write down this surface level deep poetry in your journal. What was the soundtrack playing in the background to add to your sadness? Besides The Cure, besides Elliott Smith, besides Radiohead, you had Chris Carrabba and his band Dashboard Confessional as the pioneers of the emo rock movement. Now, before people jump on this, Mitch, I have to say, when we think of pioneers of emo, of course, you think of groups like Sunny Day Real Estate, maybe even Rites of Spring.
American football.
But with Dashboard Confessional, they were the ones to bring the genre to the mainstream in the early aughts with Chris's like brand of stripped down, acoustic, lyrically poetic, romantic ballads. And if you never heard Dashboard Confessional before, either you're very young or you don't have two ears and a heart. But I'm going to give a little backstory on this guy real quick. So Chris actually was born in West Hartford, Connecticut on April 10th, 1975. But he moved to Boca Raton, Florida. Is that how you say the place?
Boca Raton.
Boca Raton. You got to say it with a French accent. So he moved there when he was in his teens. And then by 1998, he helped form the indie rock emo band Further Seems Forever. Have you heard this group before?
I haven't, actually.
So he was in this group around that time, but right before they released their debut album, which was called The Moon Is Down in 2001, Chris already was doing a little side product a few years earlier. He released an EP, Drowning, and thus Dashboard Confessional was born. But it was 2001 the group began to see success thanks to the hit single Screaming Infidelities, which I'm sure you heard many times.
Yes.
So at that point, boom, song comes out. Chris is all over MTV with other emo bands like Jimmy Eat World, Brand New, Taking Back Sunday, not to mention that song that they had on the Spider-Man 2 soundtrack in 2004. Then Dashboard continued touring, releasing music before going on hiatus in 2011, while Chris did other music products and other interests that he liked, like painting and clothing design. By 2018, they began releasing albums again. So right now, we're going to pay respects to Chris Carrabba, not just for his musical talent or the fact that he's the only person that has been on every single Dashboard Confessional album, but statistically proven that is 37% chance he will be dead someday. So we are going to do our usual pre-death tribute to him the way we always do by ranking all 8 Dashboard studio albums from worst to best. And Mitch over here has been given that task because he is into the sad boy music. So after listening to all 8 albums, how are you actually feeling?
Well, like when we reviewed All the Truth I Could Tell, I really enjoyed it all the way through. Like I genuinely thought that was a great record, and then once you tasked me with listening to all of them, I was like, I didn't even dread it. I was very excited going into it because, after listening to that record, I was like, okay, this is something that I'm like almost mad that I just completely missed this for some reason. I definitely would have eaten this up.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, here's Mitch's ranking of all 8 Dashboard Confessional studio albums. So, of course, we have to start with the worst. What is your pick for number 8?
My number 8 least favorite Dashboard Confessional album is Alter the Ending.
Alter the Ending. I believe that was from 2009, right?
Yes, that is the 2009 one. You're going to see when I talk about most of these records, there's always at least 3 songs that I do like. This one, I really couldn't stand it. they were trying to really appeal to the masses, and it didn't feel like Dashboard Confessional at all. Like, it just should have been a different band completely. I like whenever he incorporates full band, but on this, it just really didn't do it. It kind of sounded like a fake band that would be in like a Disney Channel original movie. And it's like, yeah, they're not really singing about anything. And also, it's everything I've heard before. It really missed me. The Motion, that song off of that specifically made me feel like I was going insane. I just wanted it to be over.
I guess this is the problem. Mitch does not like when Dashboard went more towards an alternative rock sound. And at the same time, I feel like since this was the last album before the hiatus, he obviously checked out before he hits the record button. So what is number 7?
7, I'd have to give it to Crooked Shadows.
I remember reviewing that album, and I did give it a meh rating, but go on.
I had high hopes because I was like, this is a cool album title. This sounds mysterious, a little dark. Is this going to be the most emo one yet? But no, it feels like it's trying to be like top 40. It sounded better on this record than it did on Alter the Ending, but it still was just like, okay, this isn't Dashboard to me. Catch You was very catchy. Belong, I thought was very dope, and that has Cash featured. It was so cool to see that like New Jersey representation in there.
I remember the song We Fight. The opening track was pretty good, I think.
Yeah, I didn't mind that one too much either. It's just too generic, and like there's just no good riffs. But like it was cool like seeing Lindsey Sterling on there. She's always killing it. Just What to Say, I thought was a pretty good closer. They had Chrissy Costanza, no relation to George. She's got a nice voice, so whenever she's featured on something, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't take anything away. Overall, this is my second least favorite album by them.
Now, for your third least favorite, aka number 6 album, what do you got?
I've got The Shade of Poison Trees. And I felt like this one might surprise people who are big fans of Dashboard Confessional, because this is acoustic mainly for throughout the whole way. But I don't know what it was with this one. It just really missed me. There wasn't a single song that I really felt compelled to revisit. There was a couple of tracks like Keep Watch for the Mines was a more powerful kind of one that I enjoyed. Fever Dreams is actually really good because that one uses like a drum machine in like a tasteful kind of way, almost like Postal Service kind of vibes in that sort of sense. Interestingly enough, I noticed that I never really like the title tracks on each album. The Rush off of it was pretty boring to me. Little Bombs was pretty good.
This is the 2007 era of the group, so I guess it's kind of understandable that it's not working for you.
Yeah.
What's number 5?
Well, number 5, we are coming to current day with All the Truth That I Can Tell.
And you did a review of this album on our previous podcast, so you might feel like you're repeating yourself, but this was a game changer for Mitch. Is there anything else you want to say about what really drew you into this?
In terms of when it came out, I mean, the 2 albums before this were Alter the Ending and then Crooked Shadows, and then this, and this was like, he was like, okay, I'm going to go back to being Dashboard Confessional now. It's more adult theme, you know, it talks a lot about like having kids and a family and stuff, which I can't necessarily relate to right now, but it's still like, okay, he's grown, but he's still got it.
He's still fucking sad, right?
Yeah, he's got a lot to be happy about, but he's still sad somehow. And even like the less serious kind of fun poppy songs never annoyed me, like Sunshine State. I like singing along to that.
But I remember saying like that last track is my favorite song on the album.
See, that's actually one of the few ones where I was like, this is a good title track. It's slow with the beautiful guitar in there, and it works.
All right. What is your number 4?
Number 4 is Dusk in Summer. Don't Wait is the opening track on the record. It's probably one of my favorite Dashboard songs right now. As soon as that starts, like it's like, okay, they sound bigger, and it's not just acoustic, but it's also just like not so in your face that it's like, okay, there's more of a band now. It's like tasteful. It's a good like put your toe in the water of getting the full band. And it comes in with the more like crowd friendly, accessible, like oh woes kind of.
Yeah, I see on here they're saying they classify this album as kind of emo arena rock.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's definitely a lot more like general pop punk as opposed to just acoustic pop punk. It's a great record. Vindicated, super fun song to blast and sing along to. Stolen, that's definitely a standout. And that one always seems to me like if it was done in the style of country, it would be like flawless. Like you wouldn't even know that it was originally like a emo song. Rooftops and Invitations, also such a fun riff, like immediately as soon as it starts. Kind of makes me want to do that like classic pop punk jumping up and down. Like I just kept getting like Warped Tour when I was listening to this album.
So if you guys have the pleasure of picking this album up on CD format, back in the day, sometime bands would put a song or two before the album begins. So if you have to rewind the first song to the negative pre-gap part, and you'll get 2 bonus tracks for this album. One is a Spider-Man 2 song, and the other one is a song called Write It Out. All right, what's number 3?
3 is going to be their very first album, The Swiss Army Romance.
Oh, my favorite goes to number 3.
Of course, it's the OG, like first Dashboard Confessional album.
Just a man and his guitar for like 13 tracks, right? Just all ballady stuff of him just belting out the hardship of dating.
Exactly.
And just being a wordsmith, the way he can like pull out that imagery of all these relationships he's talking about. We get Screaming Infidelity, we get the original version of it. Some songs I thought were great. Turpentine Chaser and the Sharp Hint of New Tears, definitely like ones I still hum in my head to this day when I, just feel like I've been done so wrong by a lover. Okay, give me a minute.
Also, this is the only other one besides All the Truth That I Could Tell, where the title track is so good. Again, I Go Unnoticed. Perfect.
Relatable, yeah.
Yeah. This was one where I felt like I wasn't as into the second half of the album as I was into the first. Even though it was still all great and I enjoyed it, I just didn't feel myself being as energetic or paying attention as much. But Not So Easy, which was on that second half, is a huge highlight on the record. That's the closing track, actually.
What is your number 2?
Number 2 is The Places You Have Come to Fear the Most.
Their breakthrough album.
Yeah, I did see online doing research that this generally seems to be the favorite, and I totally understand it. It's a phenomenal record. The Brilliant Dance, amazing song. So
Nobody cares at all.
It's so emo and it's so corny, but I love it. I eat it up. I prefer this version of Screaming Infidelities. Like I love when the drums come in so much and it just really brings the song to the next level. Super catchy guitar on the Best Deceptions. Saints and Sailors, so damn good. It starts off with that sick guitar. And like, waiting here with the hopes the phone will ring and I'm feeling awful things. It's just like, Standard Lines, amazing breakup song. All in all, an amazing record.
Every sad boy and girl should have this on vinyl. So with that, let's get to your number 1 album. The best Dashboard Confessional album, according to Mitch, is...
It is a mark, a mission, a brand, a scar.
All right. When they went electric, and it has that song hands down, which was originally on the So Impossible EP acoustic, of course. And then he added the band to it, released it as the first single to the album. And I think this album is also one that people will say is the best of their work as well.
Yeah. It seemed like a lot of debate between A Mark and also The Places You Have Come to Fear the Most. And I totally understand that debate because it was so hard to pick. But honestly, hands down, is one of the best songs ever. It's so goddamn good.
The way he paints that picture of walking the girl, jumping the fence, to let her in, and then like they're just holding each other. But and before that, where they're intertwined, so their friends don't see them, like, you know, just being together. Like when you hear that and you're like single at that time, it's like I want a relationship like that.
Yeah,
The way he says that, especially at that age, it's like that was so poignant, and that's what I love about his songwriting.
Yeah, it really made me be like, wow, all these little moments I've taken for granted, and
Mm-hmm.
thanks for reminding me I'm alone.
Mm-hmm.
But man, like this is one. Every single track is so good. I don't want to skip a single thing. I never got bored listening to it at any point. And I think this one sounded a little more angsty to me. It's just great. Carry This Picture, huge one, stood out for me. Ghost of a Good Thing, so good. Am I Missing, very catchy. Several Ways to Die, perfect closer. It's a genuinely 10 out of 10 album for me, and it's just, again, like I'm so goddamn frustrated that I completely missed this band during my formative emo years.
All right, then with that, let's give our little eulogy for Chris Carrabba. What would you say at his funeral?
That I'm glad that he went back to his roots. I'm so happy that he didn't leave off on Crooked Shadows.
All right. And I will say, like, you'll definitely be missed if or when your life expires. And hopefully when you meet your maker, any of the sins you committed on earth will be indicated.
Like and subscribe, folks.